Okay, um, so here we are, next video. In the previous video, we did the shape rotation, right? So we're gonna do compound shapes in this video. So I'm going to just move that over. Okay. In Illustrator, for you to move something, you select it and you can move it. That might sound basic, but it's helpful. Okay, let me compound paths outline type. All right, so in Illustrator, right, our basic shapes. Another type of shape is actually the compound path. These are basically shapes that you can create that resemble, that have a hole in the middle, like a donut or the letter O. If you're doing a digital illustration and you want to do a window, this is the tool that you would need for you to be able to see through the window. Has lots of potential also when you're creating logos, and so it's kind of a good practice. So I'm going to actually just create a new shape, and all you need to create a compound shape is two shapes that overlap. And this one, you do not need to have a stroke or a fill in everything, but you can kind of play around with that. So here's my first shape, a circle. Here's my second shape. I'll do a star. Okay. The star, for our demo purposes, just have different sizes because that might be easier for you to see, and different colors. But you would need two overlapping shapes, right? So I'm going to copy and actually make a duplicate of it. So I'll select both, kind of the same principle as our rotation. I'll hold down the Option key. Okay. I'll change this color. Okay. Trying to find a color that won't hurt anyone's eyes. Okay. They kind of look like olives. Okay. All right. So here, the two shapes, we've got the circle and the star. Okay. To create a compound, a shape with a compound path with compound the shapes, you're going to select both. So you can either click on both, hold down your Shift key, or you can hover your cursor over both items, and then you're going to go to Object, Compound Path, Make. Okay. I'm going to not do that here so you can see a comparison, but they'll look very similar. So here I have a circle and then I have a star, and I'm going to change the color of the star so it is white. Okay. So they look pretty much identical. The, the test for your compound shape is when you select it. So this, I need to select the two objects. This one is just the one. When you select it, and you want to move it, the test is when you move it over objects, the compound path, right? It's see-through. This one is kind of like a fake compound path. For a lot of instances, when you are doing an illustration, depending on how complex it is, this, this simple, you fill in the shape of the background, like the color of the background, that might be okay. in certain instances that might get really tedious, right? So in this option, no matter what background I put behind it, it will be that color, right? So it's more time saving than anything, I think, right? If you're doing the shape of a window or drawing somebody with glasses, you would need to do this, like to create a compound shape, because you could do a couple other options, but I think the compound shape would be the easiest, right? So I'm going to delete that one, and so here's my one compound shape. I'm going to do it again. This time I'll put the star at the center front. And all you would need is just two objects. So this time, I'll do another star, just so you could kind of see. Let me change the color in this one. Like if you wanted to draw somebody with star-shaped eyeglasses, for whatever reason, you can create these two shapes. Select both, and then you go to Object, Compound Path, Make. Now you can see through it. Okay, so these are my two compound path examples for my sampler. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And let's just see, starting to kind of format my assignment. You'll need to do this as well, so I'm just trying to do it well. And again, you'll need to do two examples, just so you know that you're able to do it twice on purpose. Okay. The next one, it's basically, let me check, outline type. Okay. So in Illustrator, one of the ways that a lot of designers use it is they will use it for their logo, right? To create their logo. It's resolution free. It is a great way to blow something up very large without any pixelation. This is very different from Photoshop. And so this next one, it will allow you to kind of be more playful with your letter forms and your type. So make sure you're saving. Don't forget. And so here I've got the word July. I'm going to make a copy of it. Okay, just so I don't have to retype it. And here you can see that it's an editable piece of type, right? When you do this outlining, it basically captures, like converts what we see as text, and it makes them shapes, and you cannot edit it anymore. So that's why I had made a duplicate, right? If I decide, I'm going to make a calendar or a logo with, let's say, the May month letters, I can do that. And then let's say my client is like, oh, I want to do it for July or June, right? Then I don't have to retype it, but I can just go June. It's more type saving. Anyways, all right. So first thing you need to have is type in a text box. Okay. I'll make another copy of it. All right. And so you need to select, this is for outline type. You're manipulating letter forms. So you need to select that text box. Um, and then with your black arrow tool, you're going to go to Type, Create Outlines. Okay, don't touch it yet. Keep it selected, and then right after that, you're going to go to Object, Ungroup. Okay, then you're going to click away, and then now each of these letter forms are independent. Okay, and when they're independent, they are just shapes that look like letters. They are no longer letter forms. So anything that you were able to do with a shape, you are now able to do with your outlined forms. Okay, and so for your sample, you're going to create, like, yes, this is the outline form, but since they are now just shapes, you're going to be, manipulating them. You'll see some really fun examples of how people did that, but how to manipulate these forms, right, is by distorting their points. You don't have to do this extremely, but I just want you to know that it's possible. So that's why you're doing it. So to do that, right, this whole time we've been using this black arrow tool to move the shapes. Now I'm gonna go to this white arrow tool, and then this allows me to adjust just the specific points, right? So there is a distortion that happens. So for your sampler, you can maybe elongate a letter form's different parts. You can distort it to the point that you can't even tell it's a letter anymore. But I just want to make sure that you know that it's possible, right? So this could easily be an example, right? So here's my one example, and I'm going to repeat the steps. So, go from scratch. Low. So you need type. Okay. Command plus, command minus works also in Illustrator, right? So I've selected my type. Then I'm going to make sure it's selected, and I go to Type, Create Outlines, and then don't touch it. You go to Object, Ungroup. Okay. Then you can click away, and then now the letter forms are independent. Unless you want to move them together, that's when you can move them together. Right? You can rotate them, you can color them in, and so then just do some kind of adjustment with the white arrow tool, so you kind of play around with it, see what it does. It won't stop you from distorting anything, so it's always kind of interesting to see, right? It's possible. And so this would be my second example for my manipulated type. Okay. Just save there. I'll zoom out. Now you can see when I mentioned that I'm going off the page and you have a lot of room in your file. I'm going to show you how much room you have in your file. So you can actually do this all in one file. Make sure I'm going to save. Okay. I'm going to zoom out. You see this white area here? This is my file, right? This gray area, it's not my file anymore, but I have all of this area. So if I wanted to, I could put, something over here, which if you were working on a big project, it's possible. But so far we've got our outline type, we've got our compound shape, we've got our shape rotation. The next one that we're going to do is an umbrella top. So that's going to be the next video, but make sure you're saving. Have fun with the outline type, and just go step by step, right? Create the text box type, create outlines, and then make sure you ungroup, click away, and then you can manipulate. Okay, so that's the end of this one. And then the next one will be umbrella tops, and then we should be good. All right, see you in the next one.